Hi dreamers, welcome back to another video. I'm Brittany and today we're going to be talking about Disney. And honestly, the reason why I don't go anymore, and it really boils down to one reason and one reason only, and it's the cost has gotten insane. Whenever I started snowbirding back 8 years ago or so, prices were a lot more reasonable and lines were a whole lot shorter. And so everything is going to get busier. I completely understand that. And everything's getting more expensive. But at this point, I really don't think it's worth it, and I thought we could talk about it. Before we dive into some of these videos that I thought we could react to, I kind of wanted to give you some actual numbers as to how much prices have increased. From 2000 to 2010, annual ticket prices went from around $350 to $500. Kind of expensive, but actually not too bad considering that's a decade's worth of price raises. Then from 2010 to 2020, the price went from around $500 to $1,100. Yeah, over $500 increase in that decade compared to the previous decade. So prices have really been on that trajectory ever since. Not to mention that just a few years ago, Disney World got rid of the free genie system that they had, the lightning lanes. Those used to be free not very long ago, and then they went to a paid model. And there was actually nothing wrong with the free version. Most people back then, I think, would have said that it worked actually really well. But they decided they could get more money out of pass holders and general day guests, and so they started charging. Started at $15 whenever they debuted it. I think that was around 2021 or so. I think it was like right after COVID. But starting pretty shortly after that, they then started to do surge pricing, meaning that the price of that quick service lane system was going to then go up based on how crowded it was. It can go up to $39 now, I think is like the highest documented, but it keeps going up every year. So who knows what it'll be next year. And so with that, I had to cut the pass. And that's why you don't see any Disney videos from me anymore. I would honestly love to go, but going just continually felt almost like you were running a marathon instead of actually like having like a fun day. And that really was due to the lines. The lines used to be variable depending on crowd, so you would have some good days where you could definitely just walk on some rides. Now even the worst rides have 30-minute, 45-minute waits, no matter what time of day or day of the week that you go. And for me, that just isn't worth it. You just can't have a casual afternoon at the park like you used to a few years ago. And honestly, I think I'm not the only one that has noticed this. I'd love to hear if anybody else that's watching this video is like considered cutting their pass or already has cut their pass. I moved to Florida for Disney. Like, it's not like, oh, I am a Florida lover that just happened to, no, Lou. I moved to Florida for Disney World, mainly so I'd have more access to it and I could go a lot of the time. I loved the parks back in the day. And so it's unimaginable to me now to think that I don't have a pass and that I don't go all the time. It's kind of insane. That's how much the value has slipped in my eyes. And I have a few TikToks here that I thought that we could listen to and see what other people think as well.
How much does it actually cost for a family to spend a full week at Disney World? For these calculations, we're doing a week in the middle of June with a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 kids that are ages 6 and 10 that are going to be staying at a moderate resort. A standard view room at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is going to run you around $300 a night, which...
Yeah, and I actually stayed at Caribbean Beach Resort at Disney. It's one of the few resorts that I have stayed in. I was like not impressed. So that $300 a night price tag is actually very expensive for what you get there. I don't actually really think it's worth staying on Disney property at all ever, unless you have small kids that need to nap during the day and you want to go back to the room easier. Other than that, you really should just stay off property. You won't have a problem. You'll save hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, over the long trip.
comes out to $2,025 for the week. We gotta add on park tickets. For this scenario, we're going to use a 4-day park hopper ticket, which is going to add a whopping $2,898 to the total package cost. Now, we all know that the next most expensive part of any vacation is the food. To make this simple, I've added the table service dining plan to this vacation package, which is going to add $1,944 to the total cost. But it doesn't.
Now, the table service dining plan that's probably overestimating the actual cost that you need, because that's probably going to have some snack credits on it. And then also the table service, which is very expensive. So that's more food than what the average family would want to eat during the day. And also, if you have that table service dining plan, then you're going to feel like you're pigeonholed into like using it, and it might just really cramp your day. So unnecessary inflated price there, but you're still not that far off if you think about all the themed great food at Disney that everyone's going to want to try. You start adding on alcohol to that and the price really goes up.
Stop there. We also gotta account for the merchandise. Now, I know this is very subjective to each family, but for this scenario, we're gonna say that each member of the family spends about $100 on merch, which adds another $400 onto that total.
I think that's fair.
Vacation add-on is lightning lanes. Let's say this family just wants multipass for one day at Magic Kingdom, which is going to run them around $30 per person and $120 to the total package cost. Now, for the grand vacation total for a week at Disney World with a family of 4, it comes out to $7,387. Now, I know this sounds like a crazy amount.
It is a crazy amount. For like, think about where you could take your family of 4 for $7,000. I mean, so many amazing places. You could easily spend a luxury week in Europe for that, even with flights that are expensive, but there are budget ones out there, so you could potentially get like a budget flight. Even with that, you could easily spend a week in like Europe and open your kids up to like all kinds of like culture and stuff. I mean, I love Disney, so I'm, by all means, but you just got to kind of start putting it in perspective as to how much money that is and where that kind of price could get you elsewhere in the world. I mean, even Hawaii, I think you could probably spend around $7,000-8,000 for a week in Hawaii. Let's watch another one.
Here's what a day at Disney cost me for a family of 5. Before we even got into the park, it cost me $30 just for parking. And even being
Some people are surprised that parking is like so expensive, and it's been expensive for a while. I maybe remember back whenever it might have been like $20 or so, but it's always been like really expensive. If you stay on resort, then it's included. And so you can take transportation there, but that is like a daily fee that people don't actually like know about. If you have annual passes, then it is included.
Florida resident, tickets for a family of 5 with one child under 10 was still $974. Paying for the Lightning Lane was $35 per person and only would have given us speed access to 3 rides.
Yeah, kind of true. Also, that speed Lightning Lane, that's only okay, worth it, but really then you just get the opportunity to add in more money because you really want the like fast passes for the big rides. It's going to really add on the price and really kind of speed up your day. Like if you want to ride and pay for Tron, I mean, that could be like $25 per person. So $100 just to ride one ride. I mean, come on.
So we opted out of that. Right after our first ride, we bought 2 waters and 3 ice creams.
Now, it always kills me whenever people buy water at Disney because you can get free water and you can bring in your water bottle. So this is exceedingly unnecessary, but I mean, the ice cream is necessary. It's hot, and also Disney ice cream in a theme park tastes the best. Come at me.
$29.50. After the second ride, they wanted a pretzel and I wanted a beer. This was another $19.
You're gonna need a beer.
This guy right here wanted a lightsaber for $44.99, but I was a hard no.
Guys, that plastic lightsaber. I mean, come on. The fact that they're selling that for $45, and that's like the cheap one. You can buy like a really nice one for hundreds of dollars, and there's hundreds, if not thousands of people per day that do that for something that maybe some people will like hang on their wall as like decoration, but for the most part, it's just going to get shoved in your closet and you're never going to see again. I mean, kind of ridiculous. For me, if I'm going to have a souvenir, then I want like a piece of clothing or something I can wear to the park again, maybe some like ears or like a hat. That's like my idea of like good merch, maybe even a mug. But yeah, toys, Disney toys is like outrageous because they know that they can just get those parents. My thought is bring some like secret Disney gifts that you can give to your kids there to kind of distract them from having to buy them gifts at the park and like souvenirs. You can get things beforehand off the internet or even like Dollar Tree.
Time for lunch, so we went to the Brown Derby where we could sit down for a little bit and order a decent meal. They didn't like the options and the prices were outrageous, so we left and went somewhere else. We each ended up with a small pizza, each had a side and a small drink, totaling $44.30.
Oh gosh, they were in Hollywood Studios and went to the fast signing for like pizzas. Oh, that's like the worst pizza. And they passed up on the Brown Derby, which actually has really great food. I will say that their menu does not read as like appetizing as you would want, but trust me, the food is going to be 1,000 times better than that quick service pizza that they had.
35 cents. After lunch, we took off and waited more lines, and we also met a few characters along the way. Once we got to Star Wars Land, we had to buy some blue milk for $10.29.
That does look like the special blue milk, so they paid a little extra for that. But yeah, the blue milk isn't that good, but you have to try all this like specialty food. Where else are you going to get it?
It tasted like a slushie with nerds on top. We took a few minutes to meet Kylo Ren.
Your courage will be tested and rewarded.
The kids then snuck away and bought some Star Wars Coca-Cola. This was $6.50, but this guy said it was worth it. After the next ride, we went and had a churro, a water, and a margarita. It had been a long day at this point. That margarita was well.
You need that. You need the margarita.
$6. And just as a thought,
alcohol's expensive.
The rest of the family decided they want to go to dinner at downtown Disney Springs.
Oh, this guy's
place
having the
was like
worst
literal
day.
hell. It was shoulder to shoulder in every store and restaurant.
Yeah, Disney Springs, I love it. I'm actually headed out the door to watch a movie there, but it gets really busy now at night. And if you don't have a dining reservation, then you're probably going to wait an hour to 2 hours to eat of an afternoon. So make a dinner reservation if you think that you're going to end up at the Springs, and also expect it to be incredibly crowded, like wall-to-wall people most of the time. Oh, the poor guy. Okay, let's watch another one.
Cost breakdown of my last Disney trip. As somebody who goes to the parks like 6 to 8 times a year, I am an out-of-state annual pass holder. I'll break all of that down for you. It's also coming from me who does not try to stay on any sort of budget at Disney. If I see something, I buy it. If I want to eat something, I buy it. Snacks, I buy it, whatever. It was a very short trip. I flew down on August 13th and I flew back on August 15th. Being out of
Couple days.
Holder, I have one annual pass option, and this is the current cost for that. Now, that means
$1,500
per day is going to vary depending on how many times you use that pass during the year. So I'm not including that cost in this breakdown because it was.
And my guess is that she probably has no idea what that daily breakdown is. I really started to factor it in, and I wasn't going as much as what I thought. And her being out of state, she probably maybe doesn't go quite as much as what she thought, but we can even do some like simple math. She says that she goes like 6 to 8 times a year. And if those trips are short like this one, then she's spending quite a bit on each day in that park. But you know, depending on how much you're going, then of course it's going to like go down. But if you're paying for the like multi-ride quick pass, then it's going to quickly go up also.
Such a short trip, and because I was going to be in the parks the entire time I was there, I stayed at All Star Music, and for 2
Which is trash, by the way. Don't ever stay there unless you're like really never going to sleep there. But also just stay off site.
2 nights, that total was $237. I did
You can actually get cheaper than that still, or at least around that same price for a much nicer resort just off property. So not worth it in my opinion.
get a pass holder discount when I was booking that. Flew American and my flight was $236.
Bougie.
I did not check a bag. Normally I fly Spirit or Frontier,
Okay.
and my flights average around $120.
Yeah.
Food, I spent $111. It was so hot, I will say I didn't eat as much as I normally would, but that is food, coffee, snacks, meals, everything.
Yeah, and I can tell that that doesn't include alcohol, because alcohol is going to be anywhere from $15 to $25 depending on what you're getting per drink. And so there's no way that that includes like any amount of like alcohol, which is great for her. She's not a alcohol drinker. But I would say that food costs actually really low for the amount of days that she was there. So good job for her. She goes a lot though, so she's probably tried a lot of the snacks that are available.
Not do any sit-down dining.
That'll save you
From
money.
the airport to my resort was free. However, I did use 2 Ubers while I was there. I Ubered from the Polynesian back to All Star Music, and then I Ubered from All Star Music to the airport. My total for both of those Ubers was $55. Merch, I did not have
Ubers are really expensive in Orlando. People are drastically underprepared for how much it costs to Uber around here. So factor that in if you're coming and you're planning on Ubering. But she probably could have got free transport from her hotel back to the airport. She said she got free transport down. So depending on what time she was going to the airport, she might have been able to do that. Hard to say.
room to bring anything back, but I did buy one thing while I was there that my friend is shipping back to me, and my total for merch was $80.
Does that include shipping?
For all 3 days. My first day, I got multi-pass and 1 single pass. My second day, I got multi-pass and 2 single passes. And my third day, I got just multi-pass. My total for all 3 days, multi and single pass, $145.
Yeah. So this is what kills me, is that we are now paying outrageous annual park pass fees, and also they now have us paying to ride rides, and pretty large prices to ride these like big rides. And so that's where I'm like, compared to other theme parks, the value there is just, you lost your mind, Disney. Lost your mind. Okay, this keeps getting worse and worse. Okay.
Caveat, I do have photo pass on my annual pass, which means I have access to any of the photo pass photographers at any time across property, and it's already included in my annual pass because I paid for it up front.
That's nice.
So that brings our grand total for every single thing minus my annual pass and minus photo pass to $864. $864 to fly to Orlando, go to the parks for 3 days, doesn't count tickets, all my food, all my transportation, everything. I know that kind of trip is very not normal for somebody who's
yeah, it's not normal. It's I don't know. Is that really expensive? I think it's underrepresented by a large amount, because she's not including the fact that she pays over $1,500 a year for that annual pass. And so she's spending that many times a year. So I think if you added up what you were actually spending, like total throughout the year, it'd be like shocking, like probably upwards of $8,000 to $10,000 total, and that might not even include the annual and pass. So kind of a lot for all these like Disney trips. And once again, like if that's what you want to do, I think that's fine. For me, it's like lost so much value. It's like I'd rather spend $10,000 and spend a week or 2 in like a Greek Isle and be on the beach. I don't know. Just is what it is. I get it though. Like I love Disney. I wish I could go. I wish it was as good as what it like used to be. It kills me. Okay, this last one I think is of this like Disney guy that is there with like maybe his family.
All right, I'm at Disney. Who wants to see some of the ridiculous prices we find?
Okay, yeah. I see, that's what I was talking about. Like these are actually low priced cocktails, because these are just walk up, take a cocktail and like walk off with it. It's not at like a sit down place. But like who doesn't want to try this? Like a Canadian apple slushy with like apple whiskey and lemonade and caramel. Like that sounds delicious. Of course I want to try it. And so that's how like they get you, because you just walk around all the time and you see something and you just are like, well, I must try that also. So, you know, Disney, your marketing's good. I get you. This guy probably had no idea what he was like in for though. I don't know if he's a local, if he's just here on vacation. It's pretty funny to like watch the sticker shock of people though. Yeah, Crocs. $65 for Crocs, I know. Yeah, Spirit jerseys, $85. I don't understand the Spirit jersey thing. I hot take here, do not think that they look good on anyone. They are like baggy, kind of bat wing-esque. It's not flattering. It's really just not cute in my opinion. And yet everyone you see at Disney like has one. I don't know how this like really happened or how they became like a thing. They're not really as much of a thing elsewhere in like other Disney parks, I don't think, like elsewhere in the world. I think in Disneyland they're still pretty popular. I'm not sure. People can definitely like fact check me on that. But yeah, they keep getting more expensive. So the Spirit jerseys, I actually remembered a time when they were like 40, 50 bucks, I feel like. And each couple months, I feel like they just increase the price just a little bit. It's like somebody's running some kind of like trick in the background and be like, ooh, I'll just put up the price a couple more dollars and see if they'll pay that now. And people do, because you're there and you want a shirt and you're going to pay whatever price Disney has on it. Phone cases, yep. Yeah, $40. Yeah. The socks. Okay, that was even more than what I thought. Okay, yeah. Yeah, those bags used to be like 60, 80. Yeah. Mini Crocs, $55. Okay, that's shocking to me too. Yeah. So, yeah, $5 per Coke. Yeah. And then he mentions that whatever the price, like you're going to add like 50%. I think 50% is actually underutilizing. I feel like for those like baby Crocs, it would have been like, oh, maybe $25 or so. No, they're $55. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. It's insane. So, you know, I would love to know your guys' take on this. Are you still paying for your annual pass? If so, I gotta say that I'm a little bit jealous, but it just doesn't fit in the budget anymore, and I feel like it doesn't fit in the budget for a lot of people. I completely understand why Disney is raising these prices. They're trying to combat the crowds, and people still continue to flood the parks and are paying it like crazy. So until something changes, prices are probably going to stay how they are, and I'm going to stay out of the parks. Thanks for joining me on this travel reaction video. I'll be back shortly with another one. Until then, bye, dreamer.